People often say that investing is risky, and we say it's not the investment that's risky, it's the uneducated investor. So how often do you hear people say, oh, I have a hot tip? They know nothing about the investment, but somebody told them it's a good thing to do, and so they put their money in, and because they don't know the investment, they oftentimes end up losing money.
Kim Kiyosaki is an outspoken advocate for female financial education, an internationally renowned speaker, author of Rich Woman, entrepreneur, real estate investor with more than 7,000 properties, 2 hotels, 4 golf courses, radio talk show host, and partner in the Rich Dad Company alongside her husband, Robert Kiyosaki. Kim will be presenting her complimentary Rich Woman live stream seminar live across Australia this week. But before then, I thought we'd ask her a few questions. Kim, welcome to TCN TV.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lala. I'm so happy to be here. You know, I am such a fan of Australia. Australia was a second home to me many years ago, and would travel there all the time. Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, Brisbane, Gold Coast, and all places in between. So Australia has a very warm place in my heart.
Great. Well, we can't wait to have you back when these borders eventually do open.
I can't wait to get back there. I was supposed to be there this year, and because of COVID, we had to change plans. So I will be there soon.
Okay. So Kim, you wrote the Rich Woman investment book for women. Can you outline why an investment book only for women? Why not for all people?
Because a great question. So Lelda, when I would travel the world and Robert and I would talk about the Rich Dad principles and philosophies, it didn't matter what city I was in. I could be in Melbourne, in Singapore, in Johannesburg, in London. And at the break, I would always be surrounded by women. And they had same questions and the same issues. And what I came to discover is that there's a huge demand for women to get educated about money because we have a different mindset. We've been actually conditioned and programmed differently when it comes to money. So, for example, nobody really gets financial education in schools anywhere in the world. But for women, we're not even expected to know much about money. It's kind of a taboo. So we're not expected to know much about money, but more so, we've actually been programmed and taught to depend upon somebody else for our financial well-being, be it a husband, family member, government. And the statistics show that as we get older as women, due to divorce, due to death of a spouse, due to poor money management, too many of us find ourselves in a financial disaster. So I wrote Rich Woman as a wake-up call for women so that they don't have to become a statistic and that they can take control of their own financial life.
Now that conditioning and program element is really important. Are there any other things that you think women are maybe doing wrong when it comes to investment, or perhaps even better than men?
Well, women are really good when it comes to money. And I think we just have to get over that conditioning and that programming. I think part of the conditioning too, which I hear from women all the time, the number one issue is they don't have the confidence. They don't think they're smart enough. They think that money is something that men are better at than women. And statistics do show that women are sometimes, in many cases, better at managing money than men and investing money. And I just want to share this one word that I heard, they say women are risk averse when it comes to money. And to me, I like to use the word risk aware. They're aware of the risks and they manage the risks and they do their homework and they do their studies. So when they make a financial decision, it's a pretty well-researched decision and they have a better financial outcome.
Absolutely. Look, being risk aware is a very interesting point. And look, Kim, can you talk us through how have you incorporated this value into your own investment philosophy, as you are, of course, yourself a very successful investor?
People often say that investing is risky, and we say it's not the investment that's risky, it's the uneducated investor. So how often do you hear people say, oh, I have a hot tip? They know nothing about the investment, but somebody told them it's a good thing to do. And so they put their money in, and because they don't know the investment, they oftentimes end up losing money. So I think the most important thing you can do is there's two things you can invest. And this is where the risk awareness comes from. You can invest time and you can invest money. So I always say invest first time in your financial education, because the more financial education you get, the lower the risk goes. So more education, less risk, less education, more risk.
Now, time and money are, of course, key points. Also being risk aware, as you said before, how does this impact your philosophy to investing in the stock market or really stocks?
I was just talking to Jim Rickards this morning, and he was saying, if you're in the stock market, he says, don't get out totally, but you might want to pull back a bit right now because there will be a big correction coming. And again, given this crazy time that we're all in, a lot of the money that's been printed and all has been going into the stock market. And a lot of people have been trading the stock market because they're home and they have nothing else to do. So hopefully they're investing with some education and some knowledge and some experience. So when things do turn, they'll be okay.
So, Kim, for someone who's at the beginning of their investment journey, what advice would you give to them?
Great question. So again, number one, it all starts with education. We're all about financial education. And not to plug a product, but our very first product that Robert and I created at Rich Dad was the cash flow board game. And it is exactly what Robert and I did to become financially free. So and you can play it online for free. You can buy the board game or you can play it online for free, but it'll give you the concepts, it'll give you the vocabulary, which is very, very important to learn the language of money. So start reading, going online, playing cash flow, however you can get your education. And then don't go into analysis paralysis, get some education, and then get in the game. Put a little money down. If you're talking about stocks, buy a couple shares of stock. You know, I always say go out and, because I buy gold and silver. We invest a lot in gold and silver because when the currencies we don't know if they're going to go up or down, what's going to happen with the different currencies. Gold and silver throughout time have had a pretty strong history. So maybe go out and buy a silver coin. It'll cost US about $25 today. And then because you've parted with that money, and it could be $10, it doesn't matter, you're going to start watching the price of silver. Like if you're going to buy a couple shares of stock, you're going to watch those shares of stock. And you're going to get smarter because you have a little money in the game. You got to put your toe in the water and you got to get started. And that's going to be your greatest education, is actually being in the game.
So dip your toe in the water and just get started is really great advice for women that are perhaps looking to advance their investments. As you are, of course, a very successful and experienced investor yourself, what advice has really stayed with you over your years of investing now and incredible success?
You've always got to, the learning never stops. You've always got to be learning. You've always got to try to be ahead of the curve. Number one, I'm going to tell you my greatest mistakes. The greatest, when I look back and I thought, what was the common denominator of my greatest investing mistakes? And my greatest mistakes were when I didn't trust myself. When again, that self-doubt went in there and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I had an investment that was new to me. And so what I did is I brought in all these experts. It was a disaster because I knew how to do a real estate deal. So it's those times when I didn't trust myself that the thing went awry. So trust yourself. If you have education, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of experience, that's going to fuel your self-confidence, and that's just going to keep growing. So it is not rocket science what we're talking about. This is simple. It takes time, it takes education, but it's not rocket science. Any woman can do this. Any man can do this, but any woman can do this. And the women I know who are investing, they are very, very, very good at it. As I said, they're risk aware, they do their homework, but they're always looking at how to get the best return on their money. And nobody is going to take care of your money better than you. So the other advice I would say is do not blindly turn your money over to somebody else to manage for you, because they're just not going to look at it as you do. It's time for you to take charge of your own financial well-being and not look to somebody else to do it for you.
Kim, thank you so much for your insights. And of course, if anyone wants to hear more, do head to richwomanlive.com to register for a live stream seminar across Australia this Tuesday from 11 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Elda. I appreciate it. And I love Australia. I love the people of Australia. I can't wait to get back there.
And thank you for watching. Now, if you like what you see, please be sure to like and share the video, subscribe to TCN TV and drop us a comment. Tell us who you would like to see next and what you would like me to ask them. Or if you're an investor, be sure to send us an email so we can keep you in the loop with the latest ideas to empower.